Hey Facebook world, it's Nida Ghazni again, and today I'm going to talk about, for the very, very first time, about why I got divorced, what happened. It is something that I have not yet talked about with anybody or spoken about with anybody. And so for starters, I'm just going to say that for those of you who don't know me or who recently have gotten to know me, I was married. I've been married twice, and so when I got divorced the second time, which was last year, I got divorced after about 7 years of having been married, and at that time I announced it the same way to everyone on Facebook the same day, including my family. That I was getting a divorce, and it was obviously a shocker to everyone, and especially my family. And the only people who really knew were my lawyer and other people who needed to know, who had to know legally what was going on. And so at that time, I also announced that Jawad and I had chosen to, and have chosen to, remain in the same house and remain a unit. We have two fat cats together, a beautiful home, and for our own special reasons, we chose to maintain a very cordial and friendly friendship because we are friends first. And so we have maintained that over the past year. And a lot of people have come up to us, hey Les, what's up girl? Hey Miriam, hi Jenna, hi guys. Hey everybody. I think a lot of you are familiar with divorces in your families, correct me if I'm wrong. And you know, a lot of people have come out to me over the last year extremely proud of the fact that what we have done and how cordially we have done it and how we chose to go about our divorce and not make it ugly for anyone involved. I think we've made it very, very easy. We still go to parties together, we're invited to parties together, and we just do not make a big deal about it. And I think, you know, we have moments. There are moments when 99% of the time I'm like, this is totally chill, but there's, you know, that 1% when he gets on my freaking nerves, because who doesn't get on your nerves when they live in the house with you? But anyway, enough about, you know, me and why and all of that. You know, someone said to me yesterday that I talk about Jawad very nicely considering what happened. My response to that person was that yes, it is my responsibility to talk very well of Jawad, given the obligations that I have to myself, the responsibility I have to myself and my mental health, and also my future, because my future self is looking back at my current self, and you know, I would not want to talk ill of someone because so much greatness came out of my life through this marriage and this friendship, right? And so I didn't always used to be like this. A couple of years ago, I was a very, very angry, frustrated, and hyperventilating kind of a person. You could probably see it if you talked to me back then. There was a lot of like anxiety and talking really fast, and things need to happen, and I would get angry really super quickly, and just everything was, I was waiting for something to blow up and something to get pissed off and angry about. I was very, 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 very angry at Jawad. I was very, very, in truth, angry at myself. And so one fine day, I got the opportunity. Something just came across my computer, and I signed up for this program by this crazy dude called Michael Burnoff. And I remember getting on that phone with Michael, and I remember getting ready to tell him, like, man, I've been wronged. I've been wronged by this man. I got married to the wrong person. Why? Why me? Why doesn't he change? And then I remember Michael very nicely saying, hey, Nida, this isn't about him. This is about you. And are you the asshole? Or are you the asshole? And when he asked me that question, do you know my response? I said, Michael, just like this, Michael, I am the asshole. And he said, you got it. And on that same night, when that 5-day call ended with Michael, I chose to go to his live event. And 2.5 days later, of course, I got more, you know, slapped over there by Michael, realized what was happening. And I was standing there at his event in front of 300-400 people, you know, calling myself out, calling myself, thank you, Les, I love you too. Tell me what part of that resonated with you. And, you know, he called me out again. And I said to everybody in front of 400 people I didn't know before, I said to 400 people, I think I'm better than everybody else. So I have, the superiority complex, but in fact, I'm actually not better than anybody else. I wish I was. And all of this was just like freeing me from my own self-imposed cage. Okay, and I promise I'm going to relate this to your health really soon. I don't intend to keep talking about myself. I came home 2.5 days later from this event, okay? I'm not trying to promote his event or anything. All I'm saying is just it changed my freaking life. It changed my life. I came home 2.5 days later, and Jawad could not recognize me. My parents, my cousins, my family, my siblings, my friends, nobody literally could not recognize me, because that's how dramatically I had shifted. Yeah, Les. I mean, it was you're right. You both of you are right, Jeremy. Our own lives are so spectacular, and it's true. It's true. I come home and I understand now, looking back, why everybody had such a challenging time dealing with me, because they had no idea who this girl is. How do we deal with her? Because if you could just go back to being the old you, the old messed up you, we then know how to deal with her. We know how to deal with her nuances and her shit, and then throw her back to the walls and be like, go away, you pesky little thing, and hyperventilating child. And it took me a full month to get them to be convinced that I am here to stay. This person is here to stay. And it was especially harder for them because as you walk yourself out of your own lives and your own jails, and you change completely, you are automatically commanding the other person to step up and rise up to that level with you. And if they're not ready for it, it is, oh my Lord, oh so hard. It's oh so hard. It's like Bill Gates and Oprah, asking you to be in their presence, and just by being who they are, they command you to a much higher level of presence with them. A level of self-presence, self-awareness, self-consistency and control and willpower, and you're just like, oh my Lord, I can't, y'all have 40 years on me, I can't do that, right? And that's how it feels for other people. And so for 3 years, I learned how to become even more self-aware. Leslie says, you didn't even know how to deal with you, and now you do. Love you. I love you too. Yeah, I didn't know. You're right. I was like a child. I was like a kid. I didn't know what the hell. Like, what is it with me? And all it is just, I just wanted more for myself. I wanted better. I wanted more for myself. And 3 years later, countless events with Michael, Tony Robbins, Life on Fire with Nick Unsworth. I've been to podcast movement events, like so many things I've done in between. Crossed off every single thing on my bucket list. I've sat bareback on elephants in Thailand. I've stood next to tigers with nothing in between us. I've gone and done some of the craziest adventures of my life. I've crossed off every single thing on this bucket list. I have changed my life. And what did I do in those 3 years while I was going and changing my life? You know what? I left this one human being behind. Yeah. You're right. You're right, Les. I left, and I was moving so fast, Les. Thank you, Bole. Thank you, Bole. You are too. I've been watching your political statements on Facebook lately, and you're pretty brave, actually. I left Jawad behind. And I can't even say that he didn't keep up with me, because it's not fair to ask other people to come up to your level. It wouldn't be fair for Oprah to ask me to come up to her level. She's got 30 years on me. So much of it, so much wisdom. And it got to the point where I tried to bring this poor man up with me. I was dragging him with me. And it was painful. It was too painful for him. And then you just get to that point where you realize it's okay. It's okay to be someone who is completely on one end of the spectrum. And that spectrum is not wrong, and his spectrum was not wrong. and who he is and where he is not wrong. I just could not force him to come with me to a point where he simply was not ready for, or it's just not his thing. Like, my way is not the only way. It's not the only right way. It's whatever you're being called to do. And so, you know, in those 3 years that I've spent on myself and working on myself and finding myself and being happy and doing the things that I love to do and getting back more and more and more, like, you know, I spent all of 2015 on Project Me, where I used to just do, like, I got this crazy ass wig weave because I love big hair, and I was doing makeup, and I was going out into the world in DC and doing all kinds of shit I wanted to do and didn't, you know, get a chance to do because I was waiting on somebody or something to make it happen. Then I ended up in Thailand, and I ended up in France and Paris this year, made my birthday dream come true. While all of these things were happening, you know, a relief was settling into my brain. And what I realized is that here's the health part, right? So what I realized is that the more I've relieved myself of these self-imposed jail ideologies and desires and wishes and expectations, my health had just gotten worse and worse and worse, and now it's just getting better and better and better. You know, if you think that your logic and your mind have nothing to do with your health, and I'm one to tell you that I'm a physical proof of it has everything to do with your health. How you think, and this is part of my reality hacking, is what you think in here. I promise you, it is going into your DNA cell by cell by cell. And I have spent years trying to logically work my way out of it, and now I'm beginning to learn, especially with the binaural beat training that I'm doing, is that everything is about what you're imprinting into your DNA. And part of this imprintment is not just to tell your brain at night and believe this and do that and you're like this, but it's also, Miriam says, I'm very surprised, but I'm glad you both are in a very good place dealing with it and looking forward. Wish you the best, filled with love and courage to achieve and conquer what makes you happy. There's more. Thank you so much, Miriam. You've always been a very well wisher of ours. And so, oh gosh, I forget what I'm saying. I'll remember it. But it's more than just telling your brain things. It's about doing the things that will give your body that physical experience of, yeah, I am doing something different. So that is why I did that, you know, Angelica Huston, Morticia Adams makeup the other day, or that is why I did that crazy hair, because I wanted to see myself. This wasn't my hair back then. My hair was like this back then because I didn't have much hair. So I used to change my hair to feel different and see myself as differently. Self-awareness helped me to see how poorly I trained others to treat me, including my ex-wife. The divorce was my time served, and happiness leads to health. Absolutely, Jeremy. I think you nailed it. Like, point by point, you just nailed it. When I was unhappy, I don't think that my friends treated me very well. I don't think that it was their fault. It was just what I was teaching them. And now, you know, how I carry myself, like when I go to the bakery or the grocery store or restaurant, you know, it's a completely different treatment, because people can see how you care for yourself. People take one look at this getup and they'll know that this person takes a little bit more time on themselves and then if I had just rolled out of bed and, like, you know, I was sitting here doing this little, like, hair roly-poly thing, like, you know, it's a completely different way to get people to take you seriously. And the biggest way you can get people to take you seriously and differently is to be congruent. And if you're acting like an unhappy sap all the freaking time, no, I'm not going to come in there and make your life better and awesome and happier. I'm only going to want to come to you if you're already a happy person to begin with. So whether it's as a friend or in, like, a relationship, and it surprises the freaking crap out of me when people, you know, ask me or talk to me about wanting a better relationship, but when you look at them, they have the most poor relationship with themselves. They're unhappy. They want someone to come in and fill that gap, but it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. You know, the best thing I ever did was take control of my own happiness. The best thing I ever did for myself is say yes to this weird man out in the friggin' middle of nowhere in Arizona and say, I don't know you, bro, but sure, I'll sign up for your dang program, and sure, I'll show up, you know, for like a 3-4 day event with you live and spend all kinds of money that I, you know, would have never imagined, and then just completely change my life. And do all of this, and now, you know, more than ever before, I feel like I'm so much more in control of my own happiness instead of letting it happen to me. And the more I teach myself that through doing things that I would have never done before, going out of my comfort zone, eating different things, or trying a different routine, refreshing up, you know, my look here and there. Like yesterday, 2 days ago, I was out at a, you know, Container Store or something, and I made it a point to talk to like 4 different people that I had no idea, and just find a way to make their way better. And that was my way of doing something different. And what I'm noticing is that month by month, year by year, my health is just drastically improving, because you release that mental energy that's being drained and used from your mind, just to serve the jail that you're in. And if you think about it that way, it's pretty amazing how much energy we put into keeping ourselves locked into a place that we don't really want to be in to begin with, and that we're unhappy in to begin with. So I invite you, what my invitation to you is, this is not about my divorce, or what, you know, the nasty secrets between Jawad and I, or, you know, how crazy I used to be and still can be sometimes. It's not about that. My invitation to you is, you know, where are you jailing yourself today? Where could you stand to unlock yourself, a little piece of yourself? What's you know, do you like to hum on the elevator? Even if people are on board, go and do it. Go hum on the freaking elevator. Do you want to go color your hair purple? Just go and do it. Okay? Would you like to do something by yourself and not give a crap? Like, do you want to go watch a movie by yourself and just not have anybody else there to annoy you, and go out for dinner by yourself, and you get to choose where you go, you get to choose what you eat and when you eat it and when you watch that movie? Just go and do it. Okay? And if you're in a relationship that you're unhappy in, then take a look at yourself, because it's not about them. It's about you. And it's about whatever you've got in here that makes you think that you cannot be happy. I'm here to tell you, after 2 marriages, that it's not a big deal. It is just not a big deal. You picked the wrong person, or you changed, they changed, and life goes on. No one's going to die. It's just because you got a divorce. No one's going to die. Nothing's going to happen. If you need to change parts about your life, maybe both of you do. You and your partner need to change parts about your life. It is one of the most amazing things you'll do for yourself. So I invite you to recognize where you're holding on to this energy and leashing or tying yourself up to something that's not serving you, right? Because you know that no matter what, when you move towards that which will work for you, you're going to thrive even more than you already are. And why wouldn't you want to thrive? Why don't you deserve to thrive? Peace out.